chilly for Arizona, Bruce. You're going to have to tell them to turn the heat up. Kathy, welcome in. All right. Well, it's 4:32. Let's go ahead and get started. We usually get people filtering in here over the next 10 minutes or so. And then usually I talk too much. And so, but I can't talk too much today because we got 4 songs, right? They're like on YouTube. They go, all right, let's get started on 4 songs. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Ukulele's up. Let's see. Bruce has his sweater on. No, you don't. Hey, Dwayne. Hi, Diane. All right. So here's what's weird. Okay. Here's what's cool. If you're newer, the songs for the newer group today are actually harder than the songs for the people who've been around a while, the cowboy stuff. And here's why. Today is the very last day of my intro class materials. So those of you guys who've been around the entire time, we started with Frere Jacques, blah, play, 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 play. Then we get to Aloha Oe and Aloha Oe, depending on who you are, and Scarborough Fair. And those are both stretch pieces out of level 1 introduction to ukulele. So if you've taken everything and those 2 pieces are hard, they're supposed to be hard. If you're playing those and you're like, this is no big deal, then it's time for you to go start your own ukulele program because you're legit. Okay? Don't do that. Well, do that, but don't expect that you're going to become wealthy and famous like me. Because you won't, and I don't, and I didn't, and all this, right? So just be excited that you have taken from Frere Jacques all the way up to this point, and you're playing really beautiful music, hardcore stuff, and it's delightful that you have made it all that far. If you are struggling a little bit, starting on Sunday, I'm going to start the introductory material all over again. So we'll start with Frere Jacques and go all the way through. So those of you guys who have friends and people that you know, go talk to them and say, this guy, he's a little annoying. He thinks he's funnier than he is, but he will teach you how to play ukulele, and a few weeks from now, you're going to be really, really good. And so we'll start with Frere Jacques. Open 2 4, open, open 2 4, open. And for some of you, that will be a nice review. For some of you, you're far enough along, you're like, okay, I'm just going to steal his entire teaching plan, and I'm going to go turn it in whatever town you live in and make it a thing. So you've got levels that you can be approaching that as well. The other thing I think is, and this came up in a discussion with one of you probably, I can't remember who it was, about, hey, I've got this ukulele group. I'd like them to be doing some of this more musical stuff, a little bit, next level stuff. Be a little mindful of that. If you're running a strum along group, probably they don't want to jump over and do what we're doing here. Probably. What we're doing here is a much higher level, much harder, much more, well, frankly, a lot more interesting stuff than what typically people do on ukulele. Typically, they strum, they sing, they have a great time, you have a beer, you go home, you don't practice for a month, and then you come back and do it again. And that's what, that's the level of hobby that people like to do this at. And it's perfectly fine. I'm not critical of it at all. I think it's a blast. But be mindful if you're like, okay, I have completely taken all of Gary's stuff and I am 100% killing my tough axe and a tough uke. And I am really like, I'm all that. In fact, I'm going to be pushing Jake off the stage at his next time he comes through town so that I can play with the Denver Symphony or whatever symphony he's playing with in your neighborhood. And you might be at that level, but don't think necessarily the same people who own ukuleles in your community are just going to follow you along with that, because what you're doing is tough. What you're doing is hard, and it's not really set up for just everybody. Let's see who else has rolled in here. Renee, hi, welcome in. Linda, did I say hi to you? I'm not sure if I did. Barbara, thanks for your persistence with all the technical glitches. Yesterday, it turns out they actually turned the power off to the neighborhood for a minute or so, and so so I apologize. We ended up with 2 separate weird pieces of video yesterday, so thank you guys for those of you who hung in. Let's see, I'll spread the word around here for you. Yeah, Leslie, let people know. It's fun to revisit my early stuff. Makes me feel like I'm making progress. You are making progress, Joyce, right? We're all making progress. That's what's exciting. Some of us fast progress, some of us slow progress. Tanya's in. Fran, glad to see you. Like, Okay, so again, as you're finishing up your introductory program, either your first time through, second time through, 12th time through for Diane. I mean, it's just one of these things that we keep coming back to. We keep going back to the basics for different reasons. If you're brand new, you're going through it just because you're trying to learn how to play. When you go back through it a second time, you're trying to develop your skill set and really get your tonality put together. The third time you're going through it, you're thinking about, maybe I'll teach this stuff to some people. And so just be mindful that when it comes time to teach somebody, different people have different motivations for coming into ukulele. And a lot of people, they just want something fun to do. They don't necessarily need it to be a musical experience. They just want to get together with people and have lunch. So, all right. So let's go through. We're going to go through the pieces. It's going to feel like they're backwards today because we're going to be doing the last two pieces in the intro material, Aloha Oe and Scarborough Fair. Both of those are very challenging pieces. And then we will go to the cowboy stuff, which, as you guys know, I was thinking about putting in John Denver this week, and I have those two pieces ready to go. But then I pulled out my John Denver book. I'm like, God, there's 3 or 4 other songs in here that'd be really fun to do. So we're gonna have a John Denver week, probably not next week because I don't have my Macintosh back yet, and so I'm still working on this Windows machine, which has been a lovely machine, but it's, as you guys know, it is this much different, and it's that part that drives you crazy. And most importantly, Finale Music, which is what I write all of my music on, is a Macintosh program that they adapted into a Windows machine, and the Windows version of it is not anywhere near as user friendly as the Macintosh one. So until I get that back, I don't want to dig in too deep into complicated stuff where I got to rewrite it and all that stuff for you guys. So we'll see if we get it back tomorrow. If I do, we'll be fine. If I don't get it back until the middle of next week, I'll plug in something else that I've got a little bit better solid shape for you guys. So all right, let's go to Aloha Oe, or A. I've heard it pronounced all manner of ways. I will take. I will be the first to admit that I have no Hawaiian roots in me whatsoever, and my skill set in terms of pronouncing is terrible. So when we sing this song, I am not going to sing a single word. That's as close as you're going to get. Okay, let's talk about the 3 chords in here. If you are a singer and you can sing it and you know what you're doing, you're only going to need these 3 chords. A chord, index finger. Let me get you good lighting on it. Index finger here, middle finger here. Beautiful. Second chord, D chord, index, middle, and ring. Everybody up there. Make sure that first string stays open. Okay, I have seen people do this. I don't like it. I don't think you should do it that way, but you can. Okay, and if you got real big fingers and a real small ukulele, you can put your index finger here, middle finger on top, ring finger on the bottom. But don't do that unless you really are struggling with getting all of your fingers into that space. I have a couple students who do that because they got real big hands, right? And they just need gives you a tiny bit more space to get your work done. But I would much rather have you do it in a row. And if you're playing anything other than a tenor ukulele and you're finding that real cramped, go buy a tenor ukulele. Okay, and then your last chord on this is E7, index finger on the top string, middle finger, ring finger. There. Okay. Now, I'm not going to play through the chords with you because that would require me to sing the song, and it's not going to go well. Okay. So if you want to work on your chords, you can play along with us as we play the melody line. If you're good on those 2-3 chords and you're like, I don't need any more additional work on those chords, I want to work on the melody line, then you just play along with me. Okay. So we're going to now jump to ukulele melody line. This is not a terribly difficult song from a melody perspective. It is very beautiful, and I love for ukulele players to get comfortable with it. Again, you're going to be in first position, index on 1, middle finger on 2, ring finger on 3. Pinky finger will cover 4s and 5s in this song, and I'm pretty sure that's all that there are. And so that's going to do that job. So you're going to be able to play the entire piece in first position. And then I don't think there's anything else we should talk about. Oh, here's some motivation for you. This instrument does not have its own repertoire. All of the repertoire we play is written on another instrument, and then we adapt it to this instrument. The amount of songs that we have that are ours are tiny. Okay, probably less than a dozen legitimate tunes that you would actually run into or know were written on this one. This is one of those tunes. Aloha Oe is probably just the way it lays out on the fretboard makes a lot of sense. I'm betting that the Queen actually wrote it on one of these. She was a big ukulele fan, and so I'm guessing that she wrote it on this. The other one that I know almost positively was 5'2". The way it lays out on the fretboard, like that is absolutely ukulele perfect. All the other songs we play are written on another instrument, and then we bring them over onto this, and that's why we want to make this one kind of important to us because it's ours. We get it. You know, everybody else gets to borrow it and figure out how to fit it onto their instrument. All right, I'm going to play the melody. It's in 4, so if you're strumming, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're going to be doing. If you are playing the melody, you're going to play it do rest, 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 oh, oh, 4. Okay. And by the way, if you are not my age or older, you probably have never heard this song. And so you need to go watch. You're sitting at home doing nothing anyway. Go rent Elvis Blue Hawaii. Okay. That's the place where this tune became well known among mainlanders by Elvis singing it. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, oh, 4, 2, oh, 4, oh, 2, oh, 1, 4, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 5, 4, 2, 2, oh, oh, 4, 2, oh, 4, oh, 2, oh, oh, 2, 2, oh, 4, 4, 4, 2, oh, 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 2, oh, 5, 2, oh, oh, 4, oh, oh, 4, 2, 4, oh, 2, 1, 2, 5, 4, oh, oh, 2, oh, 5, 2, oh, 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 4, oh, 4, oh, 4, 2, 4, oh, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I have a typo. The very last chord on that line, I wrote 2010. It should be 2100. I put an F chord there accidentally. And so please note that typo in the tab line at measure 17. Just play an A chord there, not what I wrote, and because the F chord doesn't sound right. Okay, sorry about that typo. Otherwise, it plays well. All right. Again, if you are learning this process, if you're learning how to be a ukulele instrumentalist, that's good enough, right? Just playing straight melody line is absolutely fabulous. I have an entire orchestra, one of the largest orchestras in the Rocky Mountains, maybe the largest stringed orchestra, and mostly we play one note at a time. Okay, we have a few people playing chords, we have a few people doing some other weird stuff, but mostly everybody's playing one note at a time. When you go to the symphony, mostly everybody's playing one note at a time. So don't think it's nothing. That's a very big deal that you are able to read through that and do that. Okay, now, however, as legitimate and crazy people, we want to be able to play the chords and the melody at the same time. That's your tough uke line. Guys, those of you who are ready for it, let's give it a try. Those of you who are like, man, that's still a lot of work, and it can be because this is a pretty challenging song. Make sure that you're okay with playing either chords or melody just straight up. Okay, a couple of places where you're going to end up with a little bit of a pickle. You're going to be doing this A chord with your pinky out here quite a bit, and then changing it to the 2. That's going to come up. Okay, so not terrible, but just know that you're going to be doing that. The other problem with this song being written in A, you've got a chord that looks like this and you've got a chord that looks like this. Well, if you look at these top two fingers, sometimes it's this way and sometimes it's this way. And when you're reading the tab and you're in a hurry, it's easy to goof those two up. There's a good chance I'm going to goof them up. Okay. So just be aware that there's a difference between 1-2 and 2-1 when you're playing these, because it comes up a lot. The one place that it comes up that sounds kind of wrong, but it is fine, is you're going to see 1, 2, and then 4 and a partial strum there. Okay, and it's so you get this weird kind of sound there, not entirely pleasant. And if you stop there, you're going to be like, that's not a good sound. But if you just play right on through it, it all makes sense. And so don't let yourself be confused by that. Measure 9, you have a regular bar chord on the 2 with your pinky on 5. We've done that one quite a bit as a group lately. And so just know you've got that one coming up. And I think that's really the main chords that we should talk about. Let's go through, play it, see if how it plays for you. Okay, let's see how it plays for me, really. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 3. Oh, strum, 2, strum, 4, 2, strum, 1, 4, strum, E7, strum, 2, 1, strum, 2, 5, 4, strum, 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 2, strum, 4, 2, strum, 1, strum, 2, strum, strum, 4, 2, strum, 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 bar chord, strum, 2, strum, 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 2, 4, strum, 1, 2, 5, strum, 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 bar chord, strum, 2, strum, 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 2, strum, 1, and then you got a bar on 5, 4, bar on 4, F shape in front. Okay, so blew the ending, but we have the basic idea. Okay, so I want to go back through one more time and play it with you. And I noticed that I'm playing like this, and you can't really see what I'm up to. So I'm going to look a little bit more like this. Okay, how's that sound? How do I look? All right, from the top, get yourself focused. We can do this. Play whatever method makes the most sense for you right now. This is your grand finale on Aloha A. Aloha A. 1, 2, 3. How'd that go? How'd that go for you? Give me a give me a thumbs up that you were awesome on that. I think it's a beautiful tune. I think it's got that 50 or is it 808 808 spirit. I lived in New Mexico for a while, which was well, I lived there for 8 years, and it felt like 12 at least. Um, the so we call it the 505, whereas everything's land of manana. Well, Hawaii takes land of manana and goes to that next level. So that 808 spirit, let things flow, timing less important than just being beautiful and flowy, and the winds are blowing and those palms are flowing, and the tourists are marching on the beach. Let that 808 spirit really catch you when you're playing that. I think it's a really, really, really pretty tune. And the Queen of Hawaii wrote that. So seriously, how bad can it be? All right, let's go into Scarborough Fair. All right, we have to talk turkey about Scarborough Fair. So let's find it in my thingamajig here. Scarborough Fair. Here we go. Vicky gave me a thumbs up. Bonnie, 505 is great salsa too. Yay, 505. Bonnie, as it turns out, my mother-in-law, by the way, her first name is Bonnie. So basically, Bonnie, I want to fight you is what I want to do. No, I get along with my mother-in-law great. She's a wonderful person. What you find when you have lived in New Mexico is that all of a sudden you cannot eat Mexican food anywhere except New Mexico. They have some sort of voodoo they put into that red and green chili that you can't get anywhere else. It's ridiculous. It's really good. Outside of that, red and green chili, there isn't anything that I'd go back to New Mexico for. All right, Scarborough Fair. There you go, Renee. Let's go talk about this really quickly. We've got G minor is a chord that is absolutely one of those I want you to know, and I'm amazed when we get other students together how few of them do know it. It's beautiful. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger. And if you listen to that, it's gorgeous. Okay? That's a good chord. Okay, so learn that one. Let's see. Oh, Linda, howdy. That's for sure. Colorado doesn't get quite get the red and green. Yeah, we don't get red and green here. That's the Hawaiian shaka, right? All right. So then, so I want you to know that G minor shape. F, you guys all know at this point. That's not a major for you. That's day one stuff. Okay, B flat is hanging out in here. Remember, we made an agreement. You signed it and you turned it in, and it's lifelong, and you cannot be withdrawn. You agreed with me that you were going to try to do playing B flat with a full bar and then an A shape in front of it. That's what you agreed you were going to do. You agreed, however, that sometimes you might just use a half bar and then put your middle and ring on there. You agreed that you might do that sometime, and then most importantly, you agreed when it sounds like this, that you're going to let it sound like that. You're going to say, yep, that's how I play B flat. I kill it. Whatever it sounds like, it sounds like. And one day it comes in and it'll be beautiful, and it'll be because you have developed the proper hand strength in this weird old muscle right there. And until then, let your ukulele give you crummy B flats, and then one day and it'll be there, and that's what you're waiting on. Okay, so that's your B flat. It's hanging out in there. You got a C chord at major 7. Okay, and I think that might be it. That's it. So there's only one other thing. This song was written. The guy sat down in 1670. He got out of the shower, sat down at his log that is his kitchen table in his hovel, and he wrote Scarborough Fair. Okay, and it's been around ever since. Okay, we don't know who that guy was. It probably didn't happen that way, but that's what we like to believe. Okay, it was probably in Scotland, and we played it the same way for 400 years. And then here comes 300 years, a long time. And then here comes Simon and Garfunkel, and they did it. And Simon and Garfunkel were like, don't play what Simon and Garfunkel did in your head. Do what's on the paper. And I did it, and I was adamant that you were going to do exactly what it says on the paper. But it turns out Simon and Garfunkel did a thing at measure 13. They added an extra beat. Okay, so on your paperwork you have an extra beat. Okay, and you're gonna want to you're gonna thank me when you get there because it's gonna feel like you need an extra beat there. It would not have been written originally with an extra beat, but there is this moment where one who lives there. She once was a blue, for some reason we have to have that extra beat in there now, and I blame Simon and Garfunkel. We're probably going to have a Simon and Garfunkel week. I found my Simon and Garfunkel week. You guys have made me dig into all my stuff, and I have a few of them already done, but by the way, Sounds of Silence, they did every single verse just enough different where it ends up being on 6 pages, and it's really annoying. All right, let's dig into this. One day when you least expect it, and voila, be fun. One day, right, happens. Okay, from the top, let's sing it. Okay, just see how our chords feel for us. 1, 2, 3. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. 2, 3, 1 to the top. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. Okay, probably should have put a chord on first. And then put their 10 on. Okay, so that's what you're dealing with. Good little tune. Whenever you see a song that's 300 years old, you're going to guess it's probably got a good melody. Not terribly complicated chord structure, probably. Okay, unless it's Bach. Then it's got a good tune and a terribly complicated chord structure. All right, melody wise, let's get it going. Here's where your problems are going to be. 3s, 5s right off the bat. So already I'm thinking, do I want to be in first position or do I want to be in third position? What do I want to do here? So you'll think through your choice on that. I'm probably going to start with it on the third position, reach my pinky up for those 5s, open it up, get the 1 and then the 3. Then when I get to measure 5, now I'm going to go to 5th position to get my 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, 5 and 8. Index and pinky, and then slide up to grab my 10. Okay. Then when I come back after that 10 and that 8, drop in that 8 again. Where is it? 8 right there. Then I got 5, 7, 3, 5, 10, 10. So I'm going to spend a lot of time with my pinky on this 10 to get through that middle section. It's going to be challenging, pretty high likelihood of blowing it, but I think if you get your index finger onto the 5, then you got a little bit better chance of getting your pinky on that 5 or 10. Sorry. Let's give it a try from the top. I'm going to probably start in open position because that seems as good as any right off the bat, and then things are going to get intense. Okay, try not to go fast. Let the notes ring out. At this point, you're trying to get the best tonality you can. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 0, 1, 0, 3, 2, 3, 1. 5, 8, 10, 8, 5, 7, 3, 5, 2, 3, 1, 2. 10, 10, 10, 8, 5, 5, 3, 1, 0, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 0, 3, 1, 3. Let's play it again. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1. 3, 1, 2. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Excellent opportunity to meet number 10. Okay. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Kind of matches what's in your head. Sounds beautiful. Playing songs that are pretty old. Okay. Technically a Renaissance song, but feels very medieval, doesn't it? All right. Then let's go into Tufuk. All right. A couple of things that are going to go well and a couple of things that are going to be miserable. Okay. When you see 0, 2, 3, my first thought is play a G chord, but do remember you're playing a G minor, and so it's better to hold the actual chord. Then your ukulele will resonate in the proper chord. Okay. And you're going to use your pinky to get to those 5s. All that's going to go great. When you get to 5, you're going to strum just to grab the chord, that beautiful B flat, and then you're going to have to go up and get your 5 8s, and then you got 3 10s in a row. And I'm going to recommend that you abandon all hope and just run up there with your index finger and get all those 10s. And then probably immediately jump to your pinky. And then you're going to go to this G minor at measure 8, G minor with your pinky on 5. Okay. So that's a brutal little section right there. Really, really hard to get it right. I'm going to blow it. You're going to blow it. We're going to play it perfectly tomorrow. Okay. Then at measures 10, you're going to go back up to that 10. And then the meanest chord in the song is at measure 11. It's a bar on 5, F shape in front, bar on 5, F shape in front. That turns it into a B flat. And then unfortunately, you got to get your pinky down here on this 8 in order to make that whole moment work. Remember me, 2, 1, who lives there. Okay, it's going to be cool if you can pull it off, but it may take you all night to work on it until it comes out the way you really like it. Okay, so do you F shape in front? I saw do you F shape in front. I thought that looks like spam. Yeah, F shape in front. It's a bar on 5, F shape in the front, and then pinky right there. Okay, it's cool. Okay, if you have a bigger ukulele, it's a little easier to do that, and so give that a try. Okay, all right. Let's see. All right, so now we're going to go and play the song. Okay, so I don't think anything else is interesting or there. All right, here we go. From the top. 1, 2, 3. get you a little bit of work. I gotta go delete a few people here. Sorry, guys. We got some spammers coming in. We'll just get rid of them real quick. Okay. See ya. All right. See. Let's see. Oops. Oops. Escape. Okay. That looks like, and then we gotta get rid of this person. Okay. I think that's got rid of those guys. One more person to make go away. All right, so that should get most of that nonsense going on. All right, so let's move on to playing it one more time. Nah, what do you think? One more time? Are you good? I didn't play it well either of those times because this ukulele is really tight to get in. And again, I think if you've got too small of a ukulele, you're going to be kind of run you out a little bit. And so the hard part, of course, obviously the 10, kind of getting those things to be as pretty as you can. And then the tough one, that F chord or the bar on 5, F chord here, and pinky on 8. It's a hard moment, okay? And so working on that, because at 11 and 12, I'd spend probably a good section of tonight working on 11, 12, getting them as tight as I can. All right, whew, that's a lot of work. That's the easy part of the class. Let's go on to the hard part of the class, which is much easier to play. Alan, really wouldn't expect trolls on a ukulele site. Oh, it's interesting. And they talking about these trolls. Honestly, that's their job, is they wander YouTube being trolls, and so what are you going to do? They don't care. All right, really beautiful but pretty challenging. Yeah, it is really challenging. And for all of you, if you're newer player to instrumental ukulele, that is the stretch piece. That is not meant to be part of, yep, you can do this and then you can do this, and where we sort of stair step you up. I stair step you up to here, and then I say, oh, and by the way, here's the next level, and that's not at all what I want you to get. That's just this piece that's real. Both of them are very beautiful. I want you to be able to play them someday, but probably not right off the bat. And at least if you know kind of what you're supposed to do, that's really the main goal, okay, is knowing what you're supposed to do. Whether you can do it or not is less important than just having the knowledge, and then how much time you're going to work on it, sort of thing. Okay, let's go to Down in the Valley. We're 5:10. We're in good shape time-wise. Down in the Valley is, as you guys know, maybe not the greatest song ever written, but it's lovely. Okay? Here's why I like to teach this song. I don't teach it often, but I do like to teach it because it makes you be patient. And that's the one thing ukulele players tend to be really poor at. Let's be patient. Down in the valley, restlessly dun, dun, valley. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hang your head. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to have to be very patient with your instrument. Okay, and so we don't need to spend any time, you guys and I, on C chord and G7 and G chord. So I know that C chord, that's our home planet, that's where we live. You're also going to have G chord, which is this one. Okay, index middle ring. Occasionally it'll be a G7 instead. You hear that, that's creating tension to lead you back into C. In this case, we've got tension, okay, leading you back into the regular G happens, okay. So we're going to be messing around with G and G7, but for the most part, it's just going to be 2 chords, and they're going to go bouncing back and forth. We want to be really slow, really patient. When you get a slow song, you're like, yes, that means that I can work on tonality. I don't need to rush. I want every note to sound beautiful. When we get to these more complicated songs where we have 16th notes, or we've got a whole rush of the 8th notes and all that, we end up sacrificing at times tonality for precision. And in this case, you can have both. Let's be mindful that we want to get everything together perfectly, and then we will get the best horsepower we can out of our ukulele. Okay, now let's go into the melody. So we talked about the chords. Okay, there's the chords. Let's play the melody one time, just to make sure you know. Some of you guys don't know this song, and so it's a good chance for you to review it. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 3. 3, 3, 5, 7, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 5, 8, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, go back and we play it a second time. Okay, really nice melody. I really like it. And um, the kind of the history on this song, a little bit iffy about where it comes from and who did it and all this stuff. But the story is guy's been sentenced to jail, right? And um, uh, he wants his girlfriend presumably to send him a letter. So and then he's going to get on build a castle so he can see her when she rides by. Um, Various versions of this. Sometimes they attribute it to Jesus riding by or whatever. Somebody's going to be riding by and he wants to see them. Okay. So that's the melody. Chords are nothing in particularly interesting. What is challenging though, notice when you start to go way up here on the neck, when you've got those sevens and eights, you can bet anything that the chord shape to go on there to play the chord melody version, to play the tough uke, fingerstyle arrangement, you can bet when that melody starts running up the neck that the chords are going to get weird on you real quick. Okay, so for example, everything's golden, we're just doing great. Measure 5, we got that, a 0 2 3 5. We've seen this quite a bit over the last few weeks. It's a G chord with key up on that D note. It's very common, and you'll see that shape quite a lot. If that shape is still fighting you, just switch out your middle finger and let your ring finger go, and then it's a little bit easier to do it that way. Not ideal. That's not really what I want you to do. I really do want you to hold the chord and get your pinky loosened up so it can go up there. But this is absolutely perfectly acceptable. Okay. So then all right, that's it. But then like measure 8, all of a sudden you're like, what? Okay. So you got a bar way up here on 7 because the melody note is sitting right here on 8. So you can't get that G7 and your pinky all the way down to 8, right? So you've got to come up with a different chord shape. And that's where that giant chord book that you bought at the music store is going to come in handy. By the way, there's an app for that and it's free. So don't go buy the book. You're going to put your bar there, put your middle finger there. And there's your G7 with your melody note attached to it. Just real convenient. Okay. And so that's going to go all the way up the neck. So just be ready for that moment when you get to measure 8. And I believe it repeats at measure 20. Okay. And other than that, the song is pretty straightforward. Oh, my app name. What is the name of that? I have Android, so I don't know if they have it on iPhone, but the app I use is called Ukulele Fretboard. Okay, and I've been using it for years, and it's never let me down. So Ukulele Fretboard for Android. I don't know what you guys are using on iPhone, but if you've got a good chord finder that you like, go ahead and toss it over here into the thingamajig and let people know what you're using. Okay, let's give it a try from the top. Okay, first chord's a C, right? Now, by the way, we don't talk about it often, but NC means no chord. Okay, so if you have if you purchase music out in the world on ukulele, first of all, it will be bad. But second, if you go ahead and do that, it'll usually have a chord just one time, and then it won't tell you again until the chord changes that you're going to go into a new chord. I tell you every single measure what chord you're playing because I think that's helpful information. But most of the music you buy will just have one C, and then it'll have nothing, and then you'll see a G, and you'll have nothing, and then a G7, and then a G, and then nothing, and then a C, right? So they'll just put one chord. I think they're trying to save ink. I don't know why they do it that way. It's not helpful, but that's what they do. The one thing you'll see though is if they really don't want you to play a chord, they'll put NC, meaning no chord. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there. From the top, 1, 2, 3. Again. Big ending. Okay. If you're looking for a fancy C to end that with, take your bar up to 7. Remember we did the 7 and the 8 to get that G7. Okay. If you put that 7th fret, F shape in front, it's a C chord. Okay. And that's where you can wrap it up. All right. There's Down in the Valley. Pretty little tune. Okay. Makes you feel sad. Something about Birmingham jail. Okay. And there's a million different versions out on the web of that. So have fun with that one. All right. Last song. Tom Dooley. All right. Let me give you my speech about Tom Dooley. Tom Dooley was a guy, he's a murderer, he killed Laura Foster. That's what it is. And if you're a songwriter, all of you guys are songwriters, right? You have a song due on Sunday afternoon at 4. I don't even remember what is our key this week. I can't remember off the top of my head. When you write a song, don't write about the murderer, write about the murderee. Okay, that's my suggestion to you. Okay, the murderer doesn't deserve a song. The murderee probably does. Maybe she does. I don't know. If the history of this is very fishy as to what went on here, but in any event, they strung Tom Dooley up for killing Laura Foster, and I guess we're supposed to be sad, but we're not, because we don't think he should murder people. So don't murder anybody. That's step number 1. Step number 2: write a song about something nice. Okay, not Tom Dooley. Now, Tom Dooley is as traditional Western as I can possibly get. Nothing in this song is particularly interesting, except you've got your usual G7. Okay, that's your normal G7. That's your strum along G7. Your G7 very often as an instrumentalist is going to be index on 5, middle on 5, ring finger up here on 7. Okay, 2nd string, 7th fret. Yeah, so that's what your new G7 is going to look like an awful lot of the time. If this is really challenging for your fingers, you can put your pinky on there, right? You can put your pinky there. I find it a little too cramped on ukulele to do that, so I use my ring finger there. But on if you have a baritone ukulele or a guitar, you may end up finding out that it's too far of a stretch, and then you want to use your pinky. But so that's a beautiful G7 sitting up there. Okay, and it comes in super, super handy. So get to know that one. That's sitting down there at measure 5. That's going to come up 3 times in here. The other moment that every time I put this song together and I'm working on it, it feels wrong, but it is okay. Is at measure 8, halfway through, you're playing a G7 chord. Your first G7, you're going to play up here. Then in the middle of that chord, in the middle of that measure, you're going to switch to your other G7. But the melody note under bound, poor boy, you're bound to die. It's a C note. Okay, so instead of playing here, you're gonna play here. Well, what's interesting about this is because this is the note, which is a C note, and it doesn't belong in a G7 chord, it sounds like jazz. And so there's this moment you're like, what? Okay. Bound to die. So when you get there, you're like, that can't be right. It's right. Okay. All right. You don't want to hear me sing. I don't want to hear me sing either. Let's play the melody real quick. Make sure we're good with that. What time is it? Oh, we're 5:23. 4th song. You guys are killing it. Here we go from the top. Just the melody. Just the melody. If you're not ready to play melody, play the chords. Okay. By the way, when your chords are C, G, and G7, those are the same chords that are in Lava. By the way, don't go hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Don't be that person, right? Hang down your head, hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. This is your moment. This is all these weeks of sitting around hanging out, me telling you arpeggios are good. This is your song. This is going to sound amazing. If you do a nice arpeggio, do 4-finger pattern. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Okay, this is your moment. Okay, I'm going to play the melody. You play whatever makes you happy. Okay, from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 3, 4. Done. Okay. Like the melody. The cute thing about this song is I also have it in my guitar book, and it is very normal for me to get men that are my age or older who come take that class, and they go through introduction, which is Feuershock and all that stuff, just like you guys do. But then we go to book 2, which is all 2-chord songs, and so it's 2-chord song, 2-chord song, 2-chord song, and inevitably when I get to Tom Dooley, one of these guys that's pretty old will say, I love that song. And I don't know what it is, but this song speaks to the old man inside of you, right? And that guy's pretty good. I like that guy. All right, let's play the tough axe. Okay, let's do a thumb down first time through, and then the second time through, let's pluck that sucker and see what happens. See which way goes best. Supposed to sing it all 3 times. Hang down your tag, dumb Dooley, hang down your head and cry. Poor boy, you're bound to die. I don't care if he cries or not. He killed a girl. Met her upon the mountain, and there you took her life. There you met her upon the mountain and stabbed her with a knife. So nice guy, right? And then the third verse, reckon this time tomorrow, reckon where you be, down in some valley, hanging from a white oak tree. And again, don't care, right? But it gets a little better. I mean, a little more poetic of him hanging from a white oak tree. It's not just any old oak tree, but a white oak tree. And so that's what's going to happen to him in verse 3. We can only stand 2 verses of it before we want to throw up. Tom Dooley was apparently a Confederate soldier, and then things didn't go well, and apparently there was some family shenanigans, and then he was convicted of murder. So let's give it a try. We're going to play it through twice. One time with your thumb, one time with this. Chevy Chase is kind of has hair in his arm with a good turn on. All right, here we go from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it again. I want to do it one more time. All right, I played it poorly, but you got the idea. That's one of those songs where you kind of reward yourself at the end of the day, like, oh, I can probably knock that out. Not too problematic. All right, so there's Tom Dooley. 4 songs in one day. I'm pooped. Hopefully, you guys got enough going on tonight and tomorrow. You got all day tonight and all day tomorrow to get ready for our 16-song epic concert tomorrow. I was looking through the list today, and I hope that you feel like you got some decent music to play. Oh my goodness, that is a nice playlist for tomorrow. Some easier stuff, some super hard stuff on there. I really, really hope you come in and sit down. I'm going to put a note up on Facebook. Hopefully, we'll get a few wandering in. Let's see if we can't blow this YouTube up with the greatest ukulele plunk along, plink along that's ever happened. And so, please. Make some time to come visit tomorrow. Let's see. Joyce says, my other version keeps a G7 in measure 6, which also works like measure 6. Oh, carries the G7 all the way through. Probably give it a try. Absolutely. If you want to hang down your head, Tom Dooley. So instead of going back to the C chord in measure 6, that's going to hang on to the G7 there. I can see that. That would probably make some sense. I think this arrangement makes sense in my head, but absolutely try some other ones and see if you can find it. That was really fun. I'm really practicing for Saturday. I'm excited. Yeah, practice, right? And don't practice for Saturday. Practice for tomorrow. Friday is our concert, Kat. We don't want you to be a day late, okay? Practice like crazy. Saturday is your day off. Saturday is the day you get to smash that ukulele on the ground. Okay, so tomorrow is your day. Focus, Kat. Till tomorrow. Let's see, Bonnie. Have a wonderful day. You and I will talk green chili one of these days. Alan, the first song I ever picked out myself. Yeah, right on, Alan. Fond memories. John, have a great. It's this one, right? Or is it this? It's this one. Have a great day. Rock. This one's love. This one's rock. This one's love, and this one's surf. Right. Have a great day, John. Appreciate it. Thanks, Gary. Has been fun. See you soon, Jerry. Patty, have a great night. Bruce, have a great night. Glenda, not a spammer, and I'm happy to be here. We don't mind the spammers too. They're kind of cute. Oh gosh, my days are mixed up. Yeah, don't get mixed up, Kat. Danny, have a wonderful evening. Mike, thanks for being here. Lanny, I'll see you soon. Vicky, nice song arrangements again. Thanks. You bet, Vicky. Have a wonderful day. Kathy, I'll see you soon. Linda, have a great night. Um, all right, Joyce, always glad you're here. Renee as well. All right, Lynn, have a wonderful day. Annie, Julianne, goodness sakes, a lot of you guys were hanging out today. I loved it. Pooped too. Yeah, I'm pooped too, right? This is takes your full brain capacity to do. So heck yeah, lots. Alan, have a great night. Jackie, you're welcome. Challenging notes, alien from Bozeman. Christine, you're fine. You're gonna kill this thing. You're doing awesome. So have a wonderful night, guys. I'm gonna end the stream. Thanks for being here. I will see you tomorrow for our epic 16 song concert. Drink more water. All right, I will.